One of the biggest questions is still remaining about the Dark Angels. Yes, Lion El Jonson has returned. The Risen have come with him. We've done videos on this. We've spoken about this. But where the hell is Luthor? This is the last piece of the puzzle that can really set up now a fantastic story going forward in 10th edition. So let's jump in and let's get waffling. Now, I am hoping by the end of this week, we may have a clearer picture on what's going on with Luthor. The reason I say that is because the latest White Dwarf magazine that is coming out is going to feature new rules and new lore regarding Lion El Jonson. This is new lore that is not in the novel. It's new lore that's not in the Arks of Omen book. It's actually new lore. Hopefully, that explores something with Luthor and we get a clearer picture on what he's been doing. Now, for people who don't know who Luthor is and you don't know the whole story of Luthor so far, I'm just going to summarize it real quickly. He was basically the mentor of the Lion back on Caliban. He got jealous. The Lion sent him back to the Rock. He basically led like a rebel force then on Caliban. The Lion came back to Caliban. They had a fight, and he was imprisoned as the Lion was like taken away by the Watchers. And for that past 10,000 years, he's been currently been put into stasis, taken out of stasis, and interrogated by each of like the new chapter masters and stuff by the Dark Angels over those 10,000 years. Fast forward to like the launch of 8th edition and the Great Rift breaking across the galaxy. Luthor escaped from the Rock. A lot of people theorize that he was let loose from the Rock, but basically he's no more on the Rock. He's no more in stasis. He's completely doing his own thing. And this leads us now to the conversation is, what is he doing? What is Luthor out there doing at this moment in time? Now, one of the really strange things about this is that Luthor always used to say is that the Lion would be the one who redeemed him, who would forgive him for his acts of heresy, his acts of betrayal. And we know now, of course, the Lion has returned to the setting. So does this mean that Luthor is going to actively seek out the Lion and maybe become one of these new Risen Marines? Because again, the Risen were fallen who asked the Lion for redemption. The Lion saw that there was no chaos in their heart and he forgave them, and they became the Risen, not the Fallen anymore. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of cool stuff going forward with that in 10th edition. Hopefully so, within books, novels, and you know, all the stuff that we tend to read with lore. But another big thing is, during all of this that happened when Luthor did escape from the Rock, it said in the 8th edition codex there was a mysterious figure leading the Fallen. And of course, a lot of people thought, well, Luthor has escaped from the Rock, and all of a sudden there's this mysterious figure leading the Fallen. Now, some people said, well, that was Cypher. I don't personally think it's Cypher because we've just had the latest Cypher book and we know all the shenanigans that went on in that book. I'm not going to spoil it in case anyone is still reading it and stuff like that. I've actually done a spoiler video if you want to go and watch that. I'll put it in a link and stuff like that. But what I'm trying to get to is definitely not Cypher, so I theorize that it is going to be Luthor. Maybe Luthor is gathering as many as the Fallen as possible, maybe Loyalist Fallen, because if you don't know, there's circles within circles within circles of the Fallen. You have Fallen who had no idea what was going on and they want to join the Imperium again. They want to serve the Emperor. They want to serve the Lion. You have Fallen who, you know, hate the Lion. They hate the Imperium. They also hate chaos. They just want to be independent. You know, they just want to be on their own. And then you have another circle of Fallen who have, like, you know, they hate the Imperium. They hate the Lion, and they've gave themselves over to chaos. So there's so many groups within groups of the Fallen, and maybe it's Luthor that is trying to lead like this big band of the so-called, you know, redeemed or wanting to be redeemed, and he is going to try and find the Lion, and the big group of them are going to come and say, hey, please, Lion, please, 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 forgive us all. And how cool would that be if potentially in Warhammer 40,000 that if we actually got a Luthor model, it would be a Luthor model for a Risen, like a redeemed, like the redeemed Risen faction being added to the Dark Angel range. I think that would be absolutely incredible. Or, of course, if we flip the coin over and it's not going to be that, maybe Luther's like, do you know what? No, this is our time to act now. The Lion has returned. Let us finish the job. He's gathering the fallen who don't want to be redeemed. He's gathering the fallen who want to be independent, that have given themselves to chaos, who want to give harm to the Imperium, who want to give harm to the Lion himself, and then he's going to launch his own bloody war upon the Lion and the Imperium. I think whatever happens going forward now, we're going to see a lot of books, we're going to see a lot of novels revolving around Lion El Jonson. Of course, the Lion still hasn't met Gilliman yet. The Lion hasn't gone to Terry. He hasn't met the High Lords. He hasn't really gone into the Imperial system. So there's going to be so much stuff happening with the Lion. I'm actually going to do a Lion video sometime probably next week about what's going to happen potentially with the Lion and, you know, the whole Imperium setting, meeting Gilliman, all that kind of funky stuff. But I think it's going to be an absolutely amazing time. Hopefully, this opens the door for, again, a Fallen range, a Risen range, Luther models, all that cool, awesome stuff that a lot of people for a lot of time have been wanting to see. I've been wanting to see a Fallen range for so long. I know technically we had them back in the day, but they were just like robe guys painting black armor rather than green armor. That's like that. That's how jazzy it got. But to really go down and potentially see a cool range made by this, I think it would sell well, and I think a lot of people would buy into it. Anyway, enough waffling for me. As always, Luther is out there. Luther's doing something. Where is Luther? What are your thoughts, theories? How would you like Luther to come back into lore? How would you like to come into like a series of like maybe novels and stuff? How would you like him to be introduced to the Lion? Do you think the Lion's like got to go on a hunt and find Luther and track him down just like he did back in the day? Right, enough waffling. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching as always. See you now. Have a great day and bye-bye.